This is episode 20 of What's Been Better. This week, we're talking about resetting. After resting and clearing out negative energy, it's time to reset and get back on the path to peace. To all those with the sensitive ears, we cuss a little for emphasis, not harm. Okay. And just like that, we are back.
Hello.
Right? How you doing, Lori?
I am wonderful, Sylvia. I am wonderful, and I'm excited to be here today.
Yay, me too. I'm glad to be back. I love vacation, but I was glad to be in my own bed. Oh my God.
Isn't that a great feeling when you get back and you get in your bed?
Yes.
It's like the house welcomes you back.
Yes. And I love my house, like absolutely love my house. I'm one of those people who is like, the pandemic did nothing to, because I was like, yes, let's stay in this wonderful home that we have made. I was not one of those like, we got to get back to normal. We got to go outside. No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful too. I didn't mind playing around in my backyard and in my front yard. So I was cool with being at home. Yeah. So
it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
So what's been better with you?
Being back. The garden turned into a jungle. Oh my heavens.
We had some rain.
And remember, we put in a drip system before we left.
Okay.
So the drip system was on a timer regardless.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if it was really going to rain. So everything got like, some of the stuff was swimming when we got back. So we lost some plants, some crops. But the things that survived, I put up videos and stuff because I was just like, y'all, what? Like, how do I even tame this? What do I do? So,
well, what was it? What got crazy?
The tomatoes. Oh my word. I already had tomato cages, but they were growing up and out and over the tomato cages. So I had tomatoes like on the ground.
Oh, wow.
Sweet potatoes up and out of the pot and out onto the ground. Like, I had 3 bowls of peppers. And I don't mean small bowls, like to the point where I was giving them away, and my husband gave some away at work because we were like, there's not enough pepper sauce. There's not enough pickled peppers. There's not enough. It was just peppers on peppers here.
Wow.
So, but it's been cool to like come back, pick stuff, have my own backyard grocery store. We made salsa for the first time today.
I'm coming by to get some.
It's just been great.
I hope you have enough because I want some.
It has been great. I'm sure by the end of the week, because I still have more onions, more shallots to pick, and of course, more tomatoes. So yeah,
that's lovely.
It has been awesome to be back, be in my own bed, and then for both of us to just walk out to the garden, because my husband is now a plant dad. Don't try him. Those plants are his now. He is fully invested. He was out there picking the carrots and stuff. It was great. I made some really funny videos. So if anybody sees my TikTok, we had a good time coming back home. So
I'm so glad to hear that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So what's been better for you?
Well, I've had an opportunity to relax, hang out with family, because it's been like, the 4th of July and things like that. Right. I did have some tragedies in my family, and went to a funeral, and it was a beautiful funeral, but it was the sad, of course, no funeral is going to be a good occasion, but it was just beautiful to see all the love and all the people that my family member touched. So that was beautiful. And it was also awesome to see family members that I hadn't seen in many, many years. Okay. But yeah. And then my daughter, she's back from Spain. Yay, so that was awesome to hang out with her. She's back out of town again because she's like that. She's in and out.
Hey man, some people got itchy feet. They're not growing roots.
Yeah. But overall, what's been better is for me to just remember what's important in my life. And I had some time to reflect on life
Okay.
When I found out that my family member had passed. He's quite a number of years younger than me. He's like, I think about 10 years younger than I am. And I remember when he was a little boy. So I was able to just look at his life. And I think for me, I've been able to just recognize that death is not the end.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that we're here for a time and we don't know how long we're going to be here. So to make the best of life. So I think it was just the opportunity to just remember who I am, what my purpose is, and to live my best life right now.
Yeah. I definitely had the same kind of just took a lot of deep breaths in
Mm-hmm.
this time that I was gone. Lots of deep breaths, and that influx of oxygen that you get from those deep breaths definitely cleared out a lot of space in my brain that was filled with negativity.
That's beautiful.
Like I was
And I'm
able to
glad
just put some shit
yeah,
down, you know?
yeah. I think that's awesome to even know to do that.
I- You know, traveling is it's my happy thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Right.
For as much as we've talked about, like, I don't necessarily like being on the plane. Um, after having those conversations about is it fear or is it discomfort, I figured out a lot of things. And so I was able to just let go
Hmm.
and realizing also that my travel partner is my travel partner on purpose and that my
Okay.
travel partner and I are enough
Nice.
for each other and for the circumstance. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're just enough. And it kind of gave me pause. And I literally stopped in the check-in line in the Bogota airport and said that to him. And he was like, "Welcome to the party. This has always been enough for me."
Wow.
So
So the therapist in me about to jump out. How did that happen for you that you just said that? What was there?
um realizing that like we just get each other.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to talk. We could talk. We don't have to talk. We could just look at each other. We have like little homing beacons on each other, but
Mm-hmm.
also knowing like this is the kind of good time you want. Okay, it's the kind of good time I want too, on
Mm-hmm.
purpose.
Right.
And knowing that the goal is always either we're gonna have a good time or we're gonna have a story. But regardless, we're gonna be together.
Right. I love the same pageness of you
Mm-hmm.
all. Like
Yeah.
it's a determination. It is an intention to be on the same page no matter
Yeah.
what. And I think being on the same page with your partner makes it all worthwhile. And it's like a dual strength.
It is. It is. And I think a lot of it came from Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people have a lot of assumptions on the things that we do and where we go. And I think, a lot of it is the fault of social media and being able to crop out life.
All right.
Even though one of us is extremely transparent and shares everything, and the other is just kind of like,
Well, I
I was
wonder who
there,
that is.
right? The other one was like, I was there.
Right.
You don't need to know any other details unless you ask. And he's
Mm-hmm.
very intentional about that. Like, unless you ask him, he's not telling you.
Right.
I mean, when we talked to Chris last time, he said the same thing. Like, if you didn't know, neither of them is going to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't think it's because they're not like excited about it or interested in it or anything like that. It's just what I've seen and what I've experienced now and what I understand now is that your joy is not everybody else's joy,
Right.
and that your joy can breed jealousy in other people,
Right.
even if it's unintentional.
And so
So
what do you do with that? Because
I can't do shit with it. You know why? Because what
uh,
people think is none of my damn business.
all right, somebody is pumped today.
I'm tired.
Oh
Hence
my
why I want to
goodness.
reset, because I think we've been gearing up for me to cut these last few strings and really like be released, and
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm there.
That's
I
so
think I'm
beautiful.
there.
How do you know?
Um I'm not willing to do anything else at this point.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
I'm not willing to do anything that I don't want to do anymore.
And, for me, I always wonder, and I think this is for me too, how did we ever decide to do that in the first place? You know,
Oh,
uh,
I know exactly how for myself.
okay.
It goes back a long while ago. It's like when I was saying a long time ago, I didn't trust myself. I wasn't enough to myself.
Okay.
And I believed and allowed other people's narratives to be my narrative.
Right.
And now I'm like snatching the pen back and stuff and like shredding their paper and be like, no, 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 shut the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
do that anymore.
You don't have to do that. It's,
Exactly.
like you don't have to. And that's beauty and strength in that choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm choosing to write my own narrative, no matter what that narrative is. And I don't
Yeah.
have to ask for permission or even be concerned with somebody else's opinion about my narrative.
Nope. I
Yeah.
rather I rather think about asking for forgiveness than to ask for permission anymore.
Hmm.
And when I say think about asking for forgiveness, I'm not necessarily going to do it, because there's nothing to apologize for the things that I choose to do for myself or my
Exactly.
family, my situation that happens in this house. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing to apologize for, because whatever I did, I thought it was right at that time for that particular situation.
Right. Because you're intentional. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's about when you make an intention, you don't have to apologize.
Right. Right.
And that's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like as Sylvia and I talk, we talk about things personal to us, but this applies to everyone. And I really want people to know you have permission to live your life. You have permission to live your life the way you decide to, without question, and zero fucks given. Let me just be clear.
Yeah.
You owe no one anything unless you choose to,
Right.
and that's your choice.
I think you got to say also without question and without explanation,
All of that.
because you don't got to
Exactly.
answer. People are going to question you, and people
Mm-hmm.
are going to say whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of what I was beginning to say about, like, people have assumptions on what we do and how we do it, and they never really ask for clarity. It's just assumptions, and assumptions will get your ass messed up.
It will.
Like, you thinking that we're doing all of these things and we have like all this money and lap of luxury, and it's like, when have you ever seen us do that? You
And
haven't. Like, so you're making this up in your brain for no particular reason.
and guess what? Even if you do, that's your choice.
Right.
Like if you think we have, we do. If you think we don't, we don't.
Right.
It's whatever you think. And I don't really care,
Mm-hmm.
and the beauty of not caring,
Yeah.
the beauty of not caring, and it's not cruelty. I'm not speaking from a place of being angry and then not caring.
Mm-hmm.
No, not caring with love.
Right.
Like that's a thing. Smile and not care
Mm-hmm.
on just love. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Right. Like, I'm good. You good?
Right.
Like, I think also, um, abundance is subjective and not objective.
Right.
What seems like abundance to me
Mm-hmm.
is not abundance to somebody else. To me, stamps over stuff all day.
Right.
I
Which
don't
is,
need
yeah.
anything. I need, like, we are doing this to build memories, to have
Mm-hmm.
memories.
Mm-hmm.
Filling this house with stuff would do nothing for me,
Right.
because I always feel like if I'm going out, the last thing I see better not be Atlanta. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to see this wide world because it's so big.
Right.
There's so
Well,
many
so
things to see.
right. So I was going to say, expound upon your stamps over stuff, because we are talking, but other people might not understand what you mean about your stamps over stuff, which I think is an awesome thought process.
To me, going places and seeing things and leaving your bubble, in particular, if you're from America, we have such a mentality in America that like America's the only place, the greatest place, the only thing that anybody should achieve or look to achieve is to come to America or to be American. And I feel like this little space is nothing compared to how big the ocean is. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing compared to how many other countries there are.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing compared to how many other fruits, vegetables, animals, the air, the water. Like, it's nothing compared to seeing that in other places
Right.
and having like those memories to hold on to instead of just stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else's abundance might be shoes, clothes, cars. I only have one butt. I don't need that much. You know what I'm saying? I don't need 12 cars because I can
Right.
only drive one at a time. I don't
Exactly.
need 40 pairs of the same kind of jeans. For what? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But what
Right.
I would like is a tattered passport that has just seen too much, done too much. I
Mm-hmm.
love the fact that we went on vacation and we were like, all right, this is it. We've taken these bags thousands of miles over a decade. They have had it. We have to get new luggage.
Mm-hmm.
And like plotting that out.
Right.
That to me was like joy of like,
Right.
we've done so much that this is no longer servicing us and we have to level up to the next thing,
Mm-hmm.
but not shedding this thing and not being appreciative of it. Like the gratefulness of all those miles is is so much. So to answer your question, like stamps over stuff to me is like fill up my passport with as many stamps as you can because that is how many lifetimes of memories that I will take with me.
Right.
I can't carry stuff with me.
Right.
When I'm
Right.
old and gray and my memory is beginning to fade, I might still have a chance to look over at my travel partner and say, remember that time we went to Bogota after
Right.
Aruba and it was cold? Like I'm still going to have that. And I would rather
Exactly.
have that. But I understand in a loving way that everything ain't for everybody. And
Right.
that, what I've just expanded upon, doesn't make sense to somebody.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And
okay.
and I'm okay with it now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Beautiful. It's
I'm
so
okay
beautiful
with it.
that you said now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and thus the reset. And so I'm really happy to know that you experienced that. I'm glad that this is your story for you and it works for you. This
Mm-hmm.
is not for everyone.
No.
So her stamps over stuff could be beautiful to other people, and that's cool. So also we operate from a no judgment space. So
Right.
whatever works for you and it's beautiful. But when it does work for you, please don't apologize for it.
No.
Whatever works for you, let it work for you and get all the peace, all the joy, all of the excitement from it,
Yeah.
because we only live in this lifetime once.
Right. And let me say this. I am stamps over stuff. You might be stuff over stamps. There are people that will never get a passport, don't want a passport, will never leave their state, and they will be happier.
They might not get on a plane,
I
and that's
am
okay.
100% okay with that as long as you are doing you.
Right. And that's the point that's being
Mm-hmm.
made here. Live your life the way it fits you,
Yeah.
not someone else's narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we live through someone else's narrative, there's regret, there's resentment, there's hurt, and you
Yep.
can say whatever you want to say, but if you're not living for you, you're definitely living for someone else.
Right. And that whole
So,
living for someone else is like you live in two lives at that point. Because when you're not necessarily around that person, you might be doing the things that you want to do. But every time you're with that other person, near that other person, or that other person is going to see, then you're putting on them.
mhm, yeah,
And
and
it's
you're
too
lying
much.
to yourself.
Yes. And I
And
realize a
yeah.
lot of that now. And I'm okay with like shedding all of that.
Mhm,
So that's really why I wanted to talk about resetting. Like I think because I had time to walk along the beach, take
mhm.
some deep breaths, look out at the Andes Mountains, take some deep breaths, even though they were quite difficult because we were very high up.
How you get there? Like, tell me what was that like to travel to the Andes Mountains?
So Bogota sits at like a plateau in the Andes Mountains. And
Mhm.
Bogota, as far as elevation, is 3,300 feet higher than Denver.
Mm.
So I
Oh
had
wow.
elevation sickness when we went to Denver.
Oh boy.
So when we got to Bogota, I was like, boy, I need a minute. So it was kind of a okay, let me run through the checklist of all the things I remember how to do because I remember in 1999, the very first time that I was in the Denver area, I was playing in the softball World Series, and I would basically play an inning, and then when it was our turn to bat, I would go lay on the bench because I couldn't breathe, and I
Mm.
had all the like woozy headache, all of that.
Oh wow.
So it was kind of like, okay, drink a lot of water, don't drink any alcohol, don't eat a bunch of salt, don't eat. I already can't eat a bunch of salt anyway, but it was like,
So what
don't.
happens when that takes place? You pass out or something?
Some people are known to pass out. A lot of people just have headaches. Like I get really intense headaches and I'm
Hmm.
short of breath.
Okay.
So I already have like asthma and already have an inhaler and stuff like that,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
already.
Okay.
So I was just kind of like, just take it easy.
Hmm.
So, and luckily I was already going to take it easy. I unfortunately pulled my groin in Aruba. So I was already like,
How'd you
I'm
do that?
cool. Getting in and out of the rental Jeep,
Hmm.
um, it put a little bit of strain on me. I'd already hurt myself in Arizona and I thought it was
Right.
healed and fine. And it wasn't. So, so yeah, I
Mm.
just kind of nursed myself and thank God that the healthcare system in Colombia is what it is. And our hotel was amazing and they had a spa and I was able to go to that. And so, yeah, I just
And
chilled.
okay, cool. That's lovely. Give
So,
me more of your reset. What else did that does this look like for you?
to me, this reset, I think the main thing for me is that I'm really setting the intentions, going back and resolving, like, okay, these are the specific intentions
Hmm.
and figuring out how do I stick to them,
Right.
not waver from them,
Hmm.
but also understanding my why
Okay.
about each and everything that I want to do, am going to do, and what I'm not willing to do.
Okay. Can
Because I
you
think a
share any of
large
that?
part of that,
Okay, go ahead. Uh-huh.
I think a large part of it for me is also like what I'm not willing to do anymore.
Okay. Okay.
So,
And you want to share any of that so that listeners can understand how they could start to do their own reset.
so in the last couple of weeks, when I was talking about like cutting the last strings, I'm realizing um, how to build with others
Mm-hmm.
and who's not necessarily willing to build with you.
Right.
So for me, it was a lot of figuring out, okay, who's in my corner? Whose corner am I in? Do
Mm-hmm.
we have kind of an understanding or a set of intentions together?
Right.
And um, being intentional on how I interact with those people.
Right. And so I'm gonna stop you real quick because for others, right, it could be coworkers,
Mm-hmm.
right? It could be friendships,
Right.
relationships, marriages,
Mm-hmm.
because you could not necessarily be on the same page in a marriage and really come to a realization from going on a trip
Right.
or from an event. And it
Yeah.
just it's like an epiphany that takes over. And it's like, I'm ready to reset. I'm ready to
Mm-hmm.
set a new intention for myself that I no longer, um, I'm no longer walking down this path in a marriage that doesn't serve me, in a friendship that doesn't serve me, in a job that doesn't serve me. I'm
Right.
ready to reset. And
Yeah.
this is my rationale for doing this.
Yeah. So also, another thing I really like, I think I had kicked the can around for a little while, and the more, yeah, I was like deep breathing and really meditating on is like, this podcast is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be this show forever, but this process, this sharing,
Right.
this talking, the editing process,
Mm-hmm.
the all the parts that go into doing this, because I really took stock of an inventory of like what all it takes to do this,
Right.
and realizing that like this brings me joy. There
Look
might
at
be
that.
days that like we get on here and I am having a crying ass time,
Mm-hmm.
but the progress that I get out of it
Mm-hmm.
outweighs everything.
Look at that.
So it was really coming to this realization of like, stop trying to do other stuff. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to stop being the black girl with tools. I'm never going to stop like searching to find the next thing or learning how to do things. I'm going to be a lifelong learner forever.
Absolutely.
But there's something about doing this show and being in this space that just fills my cup
How
so
so?
much.
How so?
Have you ever done anything where it's just like, no matter what you did in the process, you still felt full?
Hmm.
Like, like I said, I might get in here and it might be crying and boohoo, and I gotta edit a whole bunch of shaky voice and
Right.
all those things. But it's like once it's done and
Mm-hmm.
it's out, this show and this interaction between the two of us and anybody else
Mm-hmm.
is so fulfilling to me.
Right.
And I haven't had that in so long in a working space, because this
Right.
to me is a little bit of work,
Right.
not a job,
Right.
but work.
It's different, right?
It is.
Okay.
It
Mm-hmm.
really is.
Right.
Because I think there's still the anonymity of like, we could just tap out and not do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And with a job, it's like you got to keep going because you don't know, you don't know, you don't know.
Right. Right. What? But when you do what you love,
Mm-hmm.
it is not work. Like my
No.
fiance sometimes says, "Oh, well, you have Friday off. You don't have to go into work." And I'm like, I love going into work. Let's be clear. I enjoy what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy when my clients get breakthroughs. I enjoy seeing their life change, and I can see the twinkle in their eye when they get
Yeah.
the aha. Like that's joy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited when I go in to do the thing that I do because I love it.
Right.
And I think it's like when you do the thing that you love, it is no longer work. It's
No.
not a job. It's not like this job, a
Mm-hmm.
drudgery. I'm not dreading going into the office.
Right.
Hell no. I enjoy it. I get a pep in my step. Right.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from.
And I think too, like it's it's the thing that makes me the most grateful
Right.
outside of like my marriage. My marriage, I'm like every day I am say I'm grateful for it. Um, I think because when you find the person, you know what you know,
Right.
and you know how to you know what to do, or you figure it out. You
Right.
know, you might not have the answer right then, but it's like I'll figure out the answer because this is the thing that I want to do. I want to keep doing. I want to cultivate, and I feel the same way with this,
Right.
which is a huge thing for me because that wasn't what we started this for. that wasn't the intention. I didn't, I don't think that I had a real intention. I just thought like, this should be all right. This should be interesting. This will be cool. We'll just do this for however long. And now we're on episode 20.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I think it's because we didn't set intention in a sense. We just were getting on there to see what was what. And if
Yeah.
there was an intention, is to have this flow of how do we obtain peace.
Yeah, that's it. I think that was it. It was just like, this is the goal. How we get to it, we're not quite sure, but let's just get going.
Mm-hmm. And
Because I think if we didn't try, we wouldn't have gotten there, you know?
absolutely. And I hope that people on this journey with us are also finding peace. I would love to hear from people. I would
Yeah.
love, I want to get to a place where we have people call in and share with us
Mm-hmm.
their journey, share with us how things are going, how this podcast is helping them. What is it doing for them?
Yeah.
You know, are they having any breakthroughs? Are they receiving any aha moments, any epiphanies? What is your story? We would definitely love to hear it, because this is, not just for us, it is for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
and anybody, especially people who are just starting to listen, like, let us know. Like, any, because to me, I think that's another like driving force is, if we haven't all already figured out, I'm an oversharer. So I want to share this with other people, but I won't know if I'm sharing it with you if you don't tell us. So,
right,
and
right.
hello to all of the listeners around the world, in the Philippines, in India, in Russia, in the UK, um,
In Ireland,
in
in
Ireland,
Jamaica.
and Mexico. Yeah, hello
Hmm.
to all of them. Um, I cannot believe that you can hear us.
And we're
And
pleased, right? We're
yes.
pleased to know that you're joining in,
Mhm.
and we're very thankful. We're very
Yeah.
honored. And even in our friends in the US,
Yeah.
we're very pleased that you're joining us and learning, because this is a journey for all of us. We're not definitely saying that we know it all by any
No,
means.
no, 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 no. If y'all have not figured it out, I'm trying to progress to being a quicker learner because I was a very slow learner for a very
Mhm.
long time. So I hope that this is also progressing the same way for other people, that other people are also like, okay, I'm ready to reset too. Like, you've gone through and sifted through each of the episodes and figured out kind of some of the same things or something different that was going in your life that related. But I hope that it's doing the same things for everyone else.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Man, this is great. This is great. I'm excited hearing you reset.
Yeah.
You seem determined. You seem like I
I
wish a
am.
I wish a mofo would.
I am at that point. I
Oh
am
my
at that point.
goodness.
I am at that point where it's like my armor is finally in place
Hmm.
and I will do any and everything now to protect my peace because I
How did
feel
that
like
happen though? Like how did that happen that you
shit. Believe in people when they showed me who they were.
right, right. Because it's gonna be a catalyst. It's gonna be something,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know.
That part.
And I hope it doesn't get to that place for some people. It's just, if the resolve comes, if the thought comes, hey, it's time to move, it's time to do something different. You don't want to wait until a negative energy comes in, like anger or frustration.
Right.
You can just be excited about doing something different and do something different,
You know,
you know.
the other thing I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of is waiting on the other shoe to drop, or waiting on
Hmm.
this not to work out, or waiting on this not to do anything. So I I am a listener of the
Hmm.
things that Lori suggests. So on my trip, I began to read and I'm almost done. I think I have 2 chapters left of The Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
that is another reason why I was able to get to this point, because I
Okay.
have been really practicing. I put down Reforming Your Inner Mean Girl and I picked that book up.
Okay.
And I think within the first couple chapters, I was like, oh shit.
Yes. So tell me about that. What are you getting?
It's the part of the book when he said the thing. Okay, so the light bulb immediately that went off was the part of the book when he says that your subconscious doesn't have a sense of humor.
Right.
So don't say anything that it can't, because it can't decipher anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need to say stuff to yourself that it is not going to be able to argue with.
Right.
And so the part of the book where the man kept saying he would give his right arm for his daughter to heal, and then he wound up losing his right arm,
Mm.
that was enough for me,
Right.
because I know stuff like that and I have said stuff like that. And then that thing has happened. And I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Right. Right. So like when people, and I cringe when people say, oh, it kills me to do this,
Yeah.
or I'm sick of this, or, this gets on my nerves, or, just we have to
Right.
be mindful of the words that come out of our mouths because they're so powerful. So
Right.
yay, yay.
Yes. So
Oh,
I think I have 2 chapters left. So, and I knew the book was working. Here's how I knew the book was working. Uh, Remember the whole bathing suit dilemma?
uh-huh.
We get to the beach and I'm like, fuck it, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband was like, well, I'm taking off my shirt too. And I was like, sir, I'm with you. You do everything you want to do. It was
Right.
his birthday. We were at the most peaceful, quiet, secluded beach.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the two of us. And I think it was a couple with their dog, another lady with her dog, and a Scottish man that we met. And the
Right.
Scottish man was awesome. And he told us a lot of stuff. He was great. He filled us in on a lot of things and was super helpful. But for us to be that comfortable in our own skin, in particular me to be that comfortable,
Did you take
it's
some clothes off?
I took off the shirt that I had over my shirt. Yeah, like over my bathing suit.
Oh,
So I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
I love it.
I don't have no pictures. So there will
It's
be no proof.
okay. Oh, but you know what? But the feeling though,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about pictures. It's the feeling that you got when you did something that you were afraid to do before.
Yes.
Tell me what that experience was like.
Free.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I felt as free as a fish in the ocean that didn't
Girl.
have anything chasing after it.
Oh my goodness. Because you remember before what you had said,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I just want you to, be able to think about here. You weren't going to do it before, and now you did it.
Yeah.
How did that change? What changed for you?
I don't remember the chapter of the book,
Mm-hmm.
but I do remember the the author of the book saying that only you, basically something along the lines like only you can hinder yourself. It's not anything outside, even though you feel like the things outside are the hindrance. It's just you.
Right.
So it was just me standing in my way. It was just me ultimately judging myself.
Right.
It was just
And
me feeling a certain way.
right. But at and what's interesting is that happened by your choice because I said that same thing
You did.
and it you couldn't hear it from me, but you
Mm-mm.
heard it and I'm okay with it as long as you did. And so
Yep.
tell me that. Like how is it that you were able to hear it from that particular place and not over as we talked?
It's not that I didn't hear you say it, it was reinforcement. Because I
Okay.
think I said this before about the Reforming Your Inner Mean Girl book. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the book was saying same things that you were saying. And I was like, oh shit, Lori already said that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I don't hear you. Remember, I'm not the speediest learner, which means I'm not necessarily catching the lesson the first time.
Right.
You remember how you were saying in the raising episode, like sometimes you have to go back and teach the same lesson when the kid becomes like a teenager?
Right. It so becomes layered.
Same,
Mm-hmm.
same, same, same. So it was like I heard what you said, but it was all okay. So this is another reason why when I turned the book on, I was like, this is the book. I get
Okay.
it.
Okay.
The man was a chemist. And at the beginning of the book, he starts talking chemistry, he starts talking shop. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. And I
Oh,
was like, these are
wow.
examples I would have used.
Oh,
The way he
man.
explained this, I was like, I fully understand. He was speaking my language.
Oh, I love it.
So it
I
was
love
like
it. Oh, my
fully
goodness.
translated to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was on my level.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was like some complex shit that he was talking about, I was like, I still
You
understood.
were able to rock with him. You were vibing with
Yeah.
him. And so for me, I'm not taking that personally because
Mm-hmm.
I understand that if I say it, it's just planting the seed.
Right.
And for me, I believe my purpose in this life is to share what I am experiencing, the things that bring me joy, the things that bring me peace. And any books that come my way, and books are just other knowledges,
Mm-hmm.
other pieces of knowledge to reinforce, to enhance the
Right.
things that I'm learning. Right. And if you don't hear from me, I'm gonna send reinforcement.
Right.
and let me continue to send reinforcement because
Mm-hmm.
I understand that when you get it and you got it,
Yes.
girl. Oh,
The beginnings of me being insufferable. I'm telling you, so let me also say this. When I made that jar of salsa today, I felt the little creep of like, oh shit, here come the insufferable. Because it was like I grew every piece of this.
wow.
My hands did this.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, yo, like everything is coming full circle right now.
Yeah.
And I spoke this up. I said I wanted to do this particular thing. And now here I am doing it.
Wow. Well, let me share this with you because I'm excited. Right. So I've been in my house now for 15 years.
Okay.
I celebrated my 15 years June 1st. And when I moved in, I have my pretty big backyard, and I said I wanted trees to be my fence.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity when I moved in to plant some trees. I wanted those like evergreens, right?
The evergreens that come like a cone, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never did it for whatever reason. I don't know. I just never did it. And just last week, I planted a row of
Oh
28
my gosh.
trees in a row. And I'm not finished because it's a whole acre back there. So
Okay.
I have probably about 35, well, probably about 10 more trees to go and then go across and then back. So
Okay.
ultimately, it's going to be 100 trees, but
Mm-hmm.
still, it's going to be so beautiful to see them bloom, to,
Yes, it
to see
will.
them grow. And I'm so thankful. And I got so excited. And it seems so simple. Like some people are like, you plant trees and what the hell?
Yeah, but like
But
even
it's
on the level of like the environmental impact of like what you're doing,
right.
or just the sight of seeing like, oh shit, I did that. That was
Right.
me.
That's the point. And they're so pretty. They're so cute,
Yes.
and to look at them and like you said, I did that. And not just, you know, gloating per se, but just being excited about
Mm-hmm.
seeing something grow.
I'm
Seeing
excited. That is so neat.
yeah, seeing something that you like almost like when your baby is born,
Mm,
like, man, we brought this person into the world. It's so beautiful. This person is so beautiful, and the opportunity to see the growth, So
yeah,
that's exciting.
that's
I'm excited
cool.
for you, Sylvia.
I'm excited for you. I have to see pictures of this because
Okay, I'll send them to
I
you.
think that's always been very pretty when people do that in their yard, and
Mm-hmm.
how like this. I have a thing for symmetry also. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing like these straight lines of trees just like it gives me all the feels. So
Oh wow.
I
Yeah,
think that's neat.
yeah, and also to see our listeners grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
To you know, not necessarily see it with our naked eye, but in the belief that knowing when we say the things that we say, the growth that comes from what we're saying, and knowing that lives are changed,
Yeah.
knowing that a seed is germinating within you.
Yeah.
it's like nothing else.
I think this is also about this path that we're vibrating on also being magnetic or
Mm-hmm.
being contagious and
Right.
drawing other people to us who are like-minded or looking for the same thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's a powerful thing too. And like, I think that's why something like TikTok has done so much for me is
Mm-hmm.
because it brings so many people together that are trying to do the same thing.
Right.
So seeing all these people just like me who are like, I'm not going to the grocery store anymore,
Right.
or I want to eat better, or I want to do better for myself, or I want to know what's in my food.
Right.
I mean, I put out a video, I think today, it was just like, there's no better feeling than going to your backyard grocery store
Isn't that awesome?
because I know what's in this. I made the
Yes.
soil even.
Right. Right.
So that was a lot of days with a pitchfork of stirring
Mm-hmm.
up, what eventually became dirt. But it was just,
You did that
yeah,
with a pitchfork, Sylvia?
yes,
You didn't get a tiller?
no,
Come on now,
no.
girl. Them arms are strong. Let me see them arms.
Arms are strong. No, when you
Girl.
are unemployed, you are not buying things. You are just going with what you got.
Oh, I love it.
So
I love it.
yeah.
Girl, listen. Oh my goodness, girl. I had a pitchfork tilling her soil.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You get a
I
big
feel you.
wheelbarrow and you pour all the ingredients together.
And just
Yes.
pitchfork that shit.
And especially using a 1 gallon water jug that you cut the bottom off of as your measuring cup. Yeah, I
Oh my God.
definitely,
You gotta
definitely.
you have to do what you have to do. And I
Yes.
yeah, that's such a
Yes.
beautiful testimony too. And just the experience of it all.
But it also makes me appreciate every single thing that I am able to harvest because I
Hmm.
know what it took to do all of those things.
Right.
And it's the same as every single stamp that is in my
Hmm.
passport.
Right.
I know what it takes to even buy the plane ticket.
Right.
But aside from the money, the time, the research, the um the strength, the inner strength to be like, are we sure we want to go to this place? Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
just try,
Right.
you know? And shout out to my travel partner. People think that especially because my job was as a researcher, that dude researches way better than I do and
He's your actual travel agent.
finds, yes, yes. When you can't afford things, you have to do it yourself.
I think that's the better thing anyway.
Yes.
It brings you closer because you're
Yeah.
doing it together ultimately.
And I'm not knocking anybody that is a travel agent. Like, I appreciate y'all too. Like, we definitely have utilized those services, but it's just
No judgment zone.
none. Like, at some point, you also have to figure out how to do stuff yourself.
Yep.
You just do. You just do.
And notice the beauty in doing it yourself
Mm-hmm.
and trusting yourself because that builds courage. It reinforces you.
Yeah.
It builds your confidence. All those things.
And
Everything is learning.
and
So
trusting each
let's
other
just say that.
because yeah, and trusting each other because when he was like, we're gonna fly Spirit, I was like, sir, we're gonna do what? But it it was different.
Right. Right.
But I will say this, we flew a new airline that I had never heard of
Mm-hmm.
called Avianca Airlines. I promise you this. Let me tell you this. We don't have any sponsors, but if Avianca Airlines ever hears this, please write us, call us, do something. Questions at whatsbeenbetter.com because I will be flying that airline forever.
Yeah. Come on to Georgia. I ain't never heard of no Avianca. But
For real.
based on what Sylvia said, you get some kudos. So let me
I mean,
find out.
even how they told us to get off the plane, they went row by row, side by side. It was so organized.
What?
And shout out to the people who were on the plane with us who did not fight, who did not argue, who did not complain, who did not do anything.
Mm.
It was amazing.
Yep. Y'all reinforce Sylvia's comfortability to fly again.
Yes.
So because
And
I
it was a
remember us
female
talking about that.
pilot. It was a female
What?
child. She knew everything she was doing. First of all, let me just say that was the smoothest takeoff, smoothest landing. I have no complaints about anything. When they came out with a complimentary meal on this flight, I was like, excuse me? Spirit's not even giving away water. I'm upset at y'all about that. But
listen, don't get me started cracking up over here.
But
I don't remember the last time I flew Spirit. So.
Oh boy. It was my first time. I'm not going to say it was my last time because if it's the cheapest, it's the cheapest. Mm-hmm. But the fact that Avianca was cheaper than Spirit and we had a full meal.
Well, you know what? That says something, by the way.
It does.
So let's just look for the lessons in everything.
Yeah.
So I wonder, all these people who are pocketing coins and you know, not giving back, that just tells me some stuff. But
it says a lot about also where industries are and what they are valuing and how they're continuing to raise prices on things, though there are no shortages on the particular things that they are using.
Right.
But also not paying or increasing their workers' pay. That says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot.
Tells me where this world is going. Thus, the reason why I'm even here right now, to remind us where we can be in our minds and to remember what's important. So.
I think we are heading for a major reset in the world as well. I mean, look at everything that UK is going through today with their prime minister quitting. They're headed for a major reset.
Wow.
We've got to head for a major reset in this country. All the things that happened over the 4th of July weekend. Something has to be done. We have to start valuing each other a lot more. And we all have to individually start seeking our paths to peace.
Right. So let's start now. Right. So instead of it happening for us, let's do it ourselves. Let's decide to reset. Let's decide to make new intentions. Let's decide to get out of things that don't serve us.
Yeah.
And to know that you can. There's so much out there to give you help, support, you know, reading books, YouTube, counselors, friends. The support is there.
Yeah.
So I think we said what we're gonna say today.
Yeah, I think we could call it. Are you ready?
I'm good with it.
I'm good too. I appreciate everybody for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, holler. That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you this week. So send us a voice message or an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.